Today we're going to look at how 0% cash and only using full equity property investment works in New Zealand. So the key goal here is understanding that it is not free money from the bank, but how is it separately affecting the equity in your family home, and essentially what can you do with that equity in terms of using it as leverage to purchase an investment property. So let's get stuck in, and I hope you find value from this video. All right, so over here we've got Sample Street, a client of ours who'd bought this property in 730K around late 2017-18. The value's gone up to $1.010 million. The Reserve Bank says to the bank that you can let the client borrow up to 80% on the value that you've got in the back end of your system. 80% of $1.010 million is $808,000, and the client has existing lending of $535K owing against the family home. Now, if they were to purchase an investment property, how the rule works is 80% of the value in the back end, which is $808, that's the max debt that this house can actually have on it, and $535,000 is their current lending. So if we take the difference between the two, the available equity is $273K. So we're going to get a little bit creative here and look at their current setup. So let's say they have an ASB mortgage. They've got their $535,000 mortgage, and this is fixed at 4.99% for 3 years. And now they want to purchase an investment property. So what happens in the back end? Let's say they want to purchase a property for, let's say, about 700K. All right, so they're looking for something in the 700K range. And essentially the deposit that's going to be required for it is 30%, provided they're looking at an existing property. So 30% deposit of that is going to be $210,000. Now we know that the available equity is $273. So what will happen is, to their current loan, there'll be another facility added of $210,000, not $21,000, which that was the case. So now they've got $63K of leftover equity in the family home, and their existing setup at ASB will be the $535 plus another $210,000 that they can fix at, let's say, 4.65% for 2 years right now. So now on the new property, let's say they buy in Whangarei, for example. So 123 Sample Street. This is an investment property that they're buying under personal name, and the purchase price is $700,000. Now this is an investment. We would take this to a different bank. And look, this is not everyone's preferred advice, but the only reason is we don't want a Whangarei market-based property getting into the equity of an Auckland-based property. Those are different markets, so we want to keep it separate. We would put this at, let's say, Westpac, for example, and the current lending on this would be 70% off the value of the property. So $490 is how much debt would remain on this property. Now, you don't have to always split the mortgage with the banks when it comes to an investment property, but for these guys, they're approaching their late 50s, so there's a bit of maturity risk, and should they want to sell, we really want the clients to be able to control the proceeds of the sale without having to do discharge requests to the lawyers. And in this case, you can see that $490K debt against the $700K, and now this has $745K owing against it, and therefore the investment property will be having a $490,000 mortgage. Let's say they're fixed at 4.65% for 2 years as well. So that's how no money down property investment lending kind of works in the most simplest way. Now, obviously the clients have to be able to service this mortgage and make sure the rental that's coming in is sufficient to be able to map out their expenses post-purchase. But essentially, when you're putting no money down and using the equity, you are topping up a separate loan on your family home. You don't really want to go up to the limit. You want to leave some buffer in there. You might need renters for the house, or you might want to help your kids with the purchase and so forth. If you found value in this, please let us know. We'd love to provide any sort of property lending value across the YouTube channels, Instagram, and give you real life case studies. If you want to see more of this, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll hear from you soon.